Hey guys, it's Chris here, and today I'm doing my next video on cartoon beatbox battles. I hinted in my remaster video that this video would take a long time. Safe to say it did. So anyways, enjoy the video. Starting with the bad beatboxes. Number 32, Pikachu. Pikachu's beatbox is horrendously bad. I said it in my Instagram post, and I'll say it again. This shouldn't have been a matchup. This should have been a bonus. Why? Because they can only beatbox, but they can't provide actual lyrics. The whole point of this series is to beatbox, yes, but not just beatbox. Otherwise, it would just make it plain. But anyway, this beatbox is annoying as hell, uncatchy as fuck, and an awful remix with bad beatboxing as well. If you want to listen to a good Pikachu beatbox, then listen to his remaster. But not this piece of garbage. Number 31, Groot 1. Almost the exact same thing could be said for Groot's first performance. This beatbox is once again super annoying, uncatchy, and has an even worse remix this time around. But the only thing that makes it better than Pikachu's is the beatboxing. The beatboxing was really good and saved the performance from being a 0 out of 10. Once again, listen to Groot's remaster or Groot's second solo for a good Groot beatbox. Number 30, Terminator. I dislike this one a lot. First off, the fact that there's no animation makes it worse. But anyways, let's get into the actual beatbox. So this beatbox is just not doing it for me. I just don't feel the flow and the rhythm in this at all. The rhythm is super slow and the flow is garbage. One of the worst in the entire series, in fact. And the fact that this feels super awkward and empty. And the roasts are awful. You were never going to poop again? Really? But the ending was great, where he transformed Cyborg. Other than that, this is terrible. Number 29, Joker. This beatbox is super missed potential. Let's start off with the positives. First off, the ending was good where he shoots to end off the beatbox. And the roasts were also decent. I really like the one where he says, "But I'm gonna take you down like the kid you couldn't scare." But other than that, this is really not good. The beatboxing, besides one part, was pretty bad and awkward to go along with the empty lyrics as well. But other than that, it's just bad. Not awful, but still bad. Joker's remaster is way better though. Number 28, Goofy. This one is super dumb and repetitive as hell. The only positives I can give this beatbox are that the scene where Goofy shows us an old school cartoon was really enjoyable. And also, at least the beatboxing was decent in this one. But I cannot be positive about everything else on the other hand. First of all, a huge problem with Goofy's performance is the extreme lack of roasting. Seriously, this man's best roast is, "You look constipated." Like, nah, get out of here. And also, the fact that this beatbox is so repetitive and it fucking drags on and on. Overall, this beatbox is pretty bad, but the remaster is worse. But if you still want to listen to it, then go for it. Number 27, Mickey Mouse. Not going to lie, for the first ever cartoon beatbox battles performance, this is honestly not too bad. I mean, it's not good or great, but it's not too shabby. There are problems, as all first episodes do, and this beatbox is one of them. I will admit, the beatbox has a nice flow and it's not bad catch-wise, but the lyrics mainly and the roast are what really bring this down. His main roast is, "You're in a pineapple worm in the clubhouse," which is not going to cut it at all. I don't like the roast here. They're just bland and super generic. And the ending where he steps on a SpongeBob plush was decent, I guess. The lyrics are bad and it feels super plain. Also, go listen to the remaster, this really slaps. Number 26, Cyborg. I like Cyborg's take on Bad by MJ, but his and Terminator's have two similar problems. Emptiness. Yeah, the beatboxes are really empty and they sound bland as well. Cyborg's is a bit better because his actually had some background vocals. But let's start with the negatives. The beatbox is too short and it could have been a little bit further extended. Next, the emptiness is still awkward, but the background vocals help. And the flow is just downright bad, no pun intended. But the beatboxing is what stands out. I think that the beatboxing was really good and carried his performance. Other than that, this is just not good. Now let's move on to the just okay beatboxes. Number 25, SpongeBob 1. Okay, for the first episode, this beatbox is actually pretty solid at the time. I do like that it does have a pretty nice flow, but the rest of it is just kind of bland, but that's to be expected for a first beatbox. Another thing I do like about it is that the Fun Song remix was a unique idea, and it was executed decently, I guess. But then again, the roasts are bad, and I just don't really think it's catchy at all. It's not awful, and it was actually pretty good at the time, but it's definitely still not good to this day. And it was super generic, bland, and boring, but it wasn't awful, it was just meh. Wasn't bad, just meh. Number 24, Patrick 1. Okay, so this is just decent. Not good, not bad, but decent. The first thing I have to say is that this beatbox fits Patrick's character very well. Especially at the beginning when he forgets his routine and then makes up something random. And the main highlight of the beatbox is easily the freestyle beatbox at the end. That was easily the best part of the beatbox. It is one of the best endings in CBB to this day, but the roasts were repetitive. Basically, he just says that Goofy is ugly. That's about it. It's not a good roast or memorable at all, but at least it's better than Goofy's. Overall, Patrick 1 is decent, but I think it could have definitely been more better. Number 23, Groot 2. Okay, this is the worst round 2, but then again, it's decent. But hey, it's a step up from his last performance at least. His last performance was downright shit. But here's a positive I do like. The animation, and I do like the flow, but there are no lyrics. There is only one lyric verbally that you can see, but that's about it. Like, this is why I think Groot should have been a competitor for at least the main series. Like, a bonus episode, yeah, definitely could have worked, but imagine Cyborg versus Pennywise. That could have been so much better. But Groot's beatbox is overall repetitive. It has nothing special about it, but I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy characters appearing in a cameo. I am a fan of that. But overall, Groot 2 is decent, but it's still the worst round 2. Number 22, Pennywise 1. Yeah, this definitely could have been better, but hey, for Pennywise's first performance in CBB, especially for the first 3 episodes, this was actually not bad. I do like the flow, and it's decently catchy, but it's just forgettable. There's not really good roast, but the beatboxing was decent. But overall, it's just forgettable and bland, and verbally it's just trying to be creepy, but he fails miserably. Now for the actually good beatboxes. Number 21, Darkseid. The first good beatbox on the list so far, and I'm not going to lie, he lost against Thanos, but I do think that he still put up a good fight. One thing I am a fan of this performance is the roast he had on Thanos. My favorite one being trying to look like Michael with only one glove. That was great. I also do like the remix to Gangster's Paradise, and I think the beatboxing was really solid. But the problems here are that the flow is not that solid and it's just basic. More could have been added to put up a better fight against Thanos. Speaking of Thanos, we'll get to him in a bit. Overall, this was good, but I still think more could have been done with it. Number 20, Deadpool 1. As Deadpool's first solo in the series, this was honestly pretty solid. I really like the remix to Look At Me Now by Chris Brown, and the flow is really nice. But this beatbox is basic, but really catchy. I do like the roasts he had on Deadshot. They were really satisfying, like when he mocks Deadshot for only fighting with a gun. The roasts Deadpool had here are some of the best in the entirety of round 1. The only thing I don't like is the generic instrumental and the lack of roasts. The roasts were definitely great, but there could have been a lot more included. Overall, Deadpool's first solo is a good beatbox. Nothing special, but it's good. Number 19, Patrick 2. I really used to love this beatbox, and I thought he won. But now my opinions have changed a little bit. Don't get me wrong, this beatbox is still good, but it's not as good as I thought at all. The beginning is great. I like how we get to see Karen for an angelic tune, and another thing that I really enjoy is how Patrick is calm in himself. It's really fitting to his character. Now, yes, his other beatbox fit more, but this still stuck to his character. And the roasts, while clumsy, are pretty decent actually. But all the fart jokes are really unnecessary and it was just cringe. But the beatboxing with his back was impressive. But why did it have to include toilet humor? Who wants that? This beatbox is good, but it's definitely gotten a step down for me. Number 18, Thanos 2. This beatbox is good. This beatbox would be amazing if it weren't for the fucking repetitiveness. This one would be one of the best round 2s. Okay, let me list how it's repetitive, even though everybody already knows. The lyric, "You don't want to mess with the universe best," is used way too much, and the first chorus is repeated over and over and over again. There were barely any other lyrics besides the beginning chorus. But here's what makes up for it. The beatboxing is great, and this beatbox is honestly so catchy. I'm a big fan of the beat and overall flow, and the roast Jan and Patrick were actually solid. This is just so much potential, though. It could have been one of the best round 2s if it weren't for the repetitiveness. And while I do think it's really overhated, I think it's good, and he beat Patrick fair and square, but it was close. Number 17, Mario. Mario put up a good performance, and while I do think he lost, he did a good job. I really like the remix to Mario World, and I think the backup vocals, the piranha plants, were a really nice touch. Another thing I like is the flow. The flow is really great, and the beatboxing is really catchy. And the part at the end where he transforms in all of his power-ups. But the auto-tune in the beatbox does not fit in well with the actual beatbox. And I couldn't understand a single fucking thing he was saying the first couple of times I heard this. Overall, I think Mario's performance was good, but not great. It did have its flaws, though. Number 16, Deadpool 2. This was really solid, but I don't think Deadpool deserved to win in this one. Yes, this beatbox is really catchy, and it has really great roast by Deadpool, and Domino and Lady Death actually had really good backup vocals as well. And Deadpool's roasts were actually true. Sponges indeed poop out of their holes and are used to clean toilets. But one thing I will say is that the SpongeBob clean the toilet jokes and episodes got old quickly. I don't know why it was used in Black Panther vs. Deadpool, and while I do get why it was used in the finale, I didn't think it needed to be included. But anyway, getting off topic here, this beatbox's overall beat is so generic and bland, and that's what brings it down a bit. If the beat and flow wasn't so bland and was more entertaining, then it could have been better, and he could have actually beaten SpongeBob fairly. Number 15, Batman. Batman's honestly doesn't get enough praise in my book. The beatbox is really catchy, and the roast on Black Panther were really well done. And another thing I like is the flow. The flow of this beatbox is amazing. But Robin definitely overstayed his welcome in the beatbox. Maybe like a 15-second solo with Robin is fine, but half of the beatbox is just Robin repeating himself. Not to mention Robin's voice sucks. It just sounds like Deadpool and Sonic combined. But if Robin just had a small part, it would have been good. While Robin did bring this beatbox down a little, this beatbox is still really good and Batman did a really good job. No, I'm not saying good job to Robin. Next up is the great beatboxes. Number 14, Deadshot. Deadshot definitely beat Deadpool in my opinion. While yes, they were short, Deadshot still won by a landslide. Reason 1, the roasts on Deadpool were great. My favorite one being "You're breaking all the mirrors with your ugly face." And the rest were great. I did find it dumb in one of them where he said, "Get it, Deadpool?" That was just unfunny and didn't need to be explained. But the flow is great, and this beatbox is pretty catchy, not gonna lie. And the ending is still one of the best endings in cartoon beatbox battles. It's so cool and badass when he shoots out bullets and spells his name with them. This beatbox is great, and he definitely should have won. Number 13, Thanos 1. The most infamous CBB beatbox, mainly for the memes. Anyways, despite the memes ruining it a little, this beatbox is still great. The scratchy part was absolutely insane, and is one of the best moments in cartoon beatbox battles history. But the roasts were also great as well. Besides the fact that the memes are old and repetitive, and that everyone overrates this beatbox is absolutely amazing. He beat Darkseid by a long shot. Now yes, I do think it's overrated. It's still super catchy though. The flow is one of the best in the series too. But man, the memes bring it down, and plus, there's definitely better out there. But this is still really great. Number 12, Sonic 1. The original Sonic beatbox, while overrated, is still really great. And this beatbox is just so catchy as well. The flow is so great, and I just love the Metal Sonic background vocals in the beatbox as well. It was a really good small detail that definitely boosted the outcome of the beatbox overall. And the roasts were also great as well, saying that the castle is easy to break in and that's why Peach gets taken all the time. That was a really great roast. And the rest of them are solid. The only thing that holds this beatbox down is the animation. Specifically, Sonic's character design looks odd. It doesn't really look like Sonic. You can tell this just by looking at the animation in his supersonic form. That's where I noticed the weird animation. I definitely think Sonic's episode 12 design looks more accurate and smooth. Speaking of the supersonic form, the ending was absolutely great. And while he was dancing with the robots too, chef's kiss. This is the second best round 1 performance. There's just one better that we'll get to very soon. Number 11, SpongeBob 2. How did he lose? This makes no sense. For a while I did think Deadpool won, but I changed my mind. SpongeBob should have beat Deadpool, and that's the second time I think Deadpool should have lost a round. I think he only won in the first round because there's barely anyone who knows about Deadshot as much as Deadpool, so the vote was most likely based off of character popularity. Now I can't say the same for this one. While I do think SpongeBob won, Deadpool didn't win off of popularity, and yes, he did put up a fair fight to move on, but he didn't deserve it. I read one comment saying that the SpongeBob fandom didn't want to see Patrick and SpongeBob have a battle, so they voted Deadpool. And while this is a solid theory, how would they know SpongeBob and Patrick would battle? And if they're SpongeBob fans, why wouldn't they vote for him? Speaking of that, nobody should be voting on the character, only on the beatbox itself. But anyways, this beatbox is really something great. I really like the flow in the Goofy Goober Rock remix. Now, the two problems with it are one, the dead poop jokes were really dumb, but they were only referred to about twice in the whole beatbox. And also, I think it's a bit missed potential. The reason I say this, as great as it is, because he should have went wizard form. That definitely would have gave him the win for sure. But other than that, this is amazing. And the doodlebob part was weird, but really catchy and smooth. Definitely better than his round 1 for sure, and he should have won in my opinion. Number 10, Black Panther 1, the best round 1 of the series, which I hinted in my Sonic 1 segment. So this beatbox is smooth as fuck. First of all, the song remix choice is great. Black Panther puts California Love by Tupac and Smooth Criminal by Michael Jackson together in one beatbox. You know it's gonna be a good time. And the roasts he had on Batman were also really good. And the overall beatboxing fit very well with the overall tone and style this beatbox is going for. The only downside is that I feel like the auto-tune wasn't needed. I think it would have sounded better without the auto-tune. But anyways, like I said, this beatbox is a joy to listen to. It's the best round 1 in my opinion. It's just so smooth and catchy, and the Wakanda background vocals are absolutely great. Number 9, Pennywise 3. The worst round 3, yet it still makes the top 10. That's gotta say something. Anyways, this beatbox is great and actually pretty underrated. Some people actually don't like it, but I can see why. I'm just going to get into the negatives. Compared to his second round, this beatbox is pretty underwhelming, to be honest. I'm saying as good as it is, it still missed potential compared to his second round, which I'll get to later. This just feels like Pennywise's character took a turn for the worst. While he was funny, he wasn't even creepy like the last episode he was in. This time around, he was just a tryhard. Because we're used to seeing Pennywise be chill and creepy, but here that's not the case. But the rest of the beatbox is amazing. The roasts were great, remix is great. The beatboxing and visuals really shine though. And the ending was another one of the best endings in all of Cartoon Beatbox battles. And while it isn't creepy at all, at least it makes a decent attempt at it to scare Patrick. Which is something I can't say about his round 1. But this beatbox is great, and he definitely put up a really good fight against Patrick. Number 8, Sonic 2. This beatbox has regressed over time for me, not gonna lie. But the good things about it are still amazing. Like the roast, the beatboxing, and the really nice animation style. Like I said back in Sonic 1, the animation on Sonic in this episode looks a hell of a lot better than his Episode 8 design. But as I said, maybe this beatbox isn't as catchy, but it's still better. The animation, like I said, is a step up. It's got a better flow, and the overall remix to Chemical Plant was better than the remix to Green Hill. And all the locations are better in this one as well. I like how he goes down to the street for the slow it down line. And the ending was one of the best endings in CBB, yet again. He does a duet with Shadow, Amy, Tails, Knuckles, and the Werehog. It was so hype. Overall, yeah, he lost, but this is still a banger. Number 7, Patrick 3. Okay, at one time this was my favorite beatbox in all of CBB, but while it's not in my top 5 anymore, this beatbox is still amazing. The visuals, like in Pennywise's performance, really stand out. I like the animation with him playing the electric keyboard, and the animation in the entirety of the beatbox overall might just be the best beatbox in CBB in terms of animation. And that's what I really like about this episode. It's really creative with the art style and colors, making it the best animated episode in my opinion. But now for the actual beatbox. The only negative I have with the overall performance is the repetitiveness. It's not as repetitive as Thanos 2, but still repetitive. And it's a shame because, like Thanos 2, this could have been maybe even the best if it weren't for the repetitiveness. But this beatbox is still true, amazing one. The roasts he has on Pennywise, while dumb, are really clever. The roasts are so fitting to his character and so Patrick that it makes the roasts even better. Like, comparing Pennywise to an actual penny fits his character so well. And that's what I really enjoy about it. Now for the amazing beatboxes. Number 6, Black Panther 2. The smooth Black Panther is back better than before. Seriously, this beatbox is an absolute joy to listen to. And as a dedication to Chadwick Boseman, this is absolutely amazing. This beatbox is so fucking catchy and the roasts are top tier. Saying Nintendo bought out Sega was a great roast, and how Sonic's friends never make it to the end of his games. Not to mention how it sounds is so good. The only thing I would complain about is that it didn't fit as well as it did in his round 1 performance, not gonna lie. But this is still amazing. It does stuff to still fit his character. And the beatboxing bits in the performance are what really stand out. The main reason he won over Sonic is because of the flow and the smooth beat. The flow is just better, what can I say? And this beatbox is a lot more smoother than Sonic's. Sonic's was great, but it was a little rough around the edges. And I'm tired of people saying, Black Panther only won because his actor died. That's not true. Black Panther won fair and square, Sonic fanboys. Number 5, Pennywise 2. Holy shit, this beatbox is so awesome. And Jesus, the fitting to his character is absolutely perfect. The creepiest beatbox in the entire series for sure. No joke, I get fucking goosebumps every time I hear his beatbox. In round 1, Ace failed to make Pennywise creepy. But here, he executed it perfectly, and that's why it's such a great fit to Pennywise's character. Not only in cartoon beatbox battles, but in the movies as well. And the animation is top tier. The animation of him playing the harp at the beginning and then turning his head around looks so great and smooth. And the beatbox in general is insanely good. The beatboxing is so creepy, it fits Pennywise perfectly. And the way he says all of his lyrics so creepily is satisfying to hear. Another thing I like is the ending. I don't care what you say, this is the best ending in all of CBB. Pennywise literally fucking shows us how to scratch it horror style, transforms around the rings, transforms into Ace's hat, and controls Ace and Groot like puppets. You can't make this shit up. This is just the best ending in CBB, no doubt in my mind. Best round 2. Number 4, Black Panther 3. All of Black Panther's performances have made it in my top 10. Let that sink in for a second. Anyways, this beatbox is amazing. The animation on this performance is absolutely stunning, especially the part in the beatbox where he fights off all the bad guys while beatboxing in a freestyle. It's just amazing. The only one problem is that the roasts are meh. They could have been better. But my favorite one is when Black Panther compares his face to grated cheese. That had me dying. The rest are okay, but nothing special. But the flow is one of the best in the series, and the animation the whole way through is absolutely amazing. And the beatbox is so catchy. His remix to This Is How We Do It was surprising but very refreshing. Black Panther's was definitely smooth, alright. Now, I had a hard time debating whether his third or second round was better, and it was close, but I took his third round because of the better visuals and flow. Okay, now we're going to move on to the absolute masterpieces. Number 3, Deadpool 3. This beatbox is perfect. Fucking perfect. This is absolutely great. His first two performances were good, but this is absolutely amazing. It was close between him and Black Panther, but he won. The flow was downright amazing, and the remix to Another One Bites the Dust was great. The roasts are also amazing. The one about Thanos snapping BP to dust, and that his clan didn't miss him, and how Deadpool dated his sister. Now that's what I call savage. And the Pussycat lines sound absolutely fantastic. The instrumental is amazing, and it fits very well with the beatbox. Deadpool roasts the hell out of Black Panther, and he didn't even need to try. And the beatboxing bit at the end where he slices the snow off of all his opponent's heads, so far, hilarious. And an overall nice touch to performance. Best round 3. I mean, yeah, it is the best round 3. It's better than Black Panther's because of the smoothness and the catchiness. And plus the roasts were better. Number 2, Deadpool 4. Before I begin these last two rankings, I need to make an announcement. These beatboxes are ranked differently, but they are both equal in my opinion. The reason I say this is because the episode released 3 months ago, or at least it is by the day I'm recording this, and I thought Patrick won. Then a month later I thought Deadpool won. But now I choose neither. They're equal. And plus it's the finale, so it would be nice to just not vote. But I will say, these two are the best two beatboxes in the series in my opinion. Anyways, now to the performance. The remix to Forgot About Dre is amazing, and him calling him Fatrick was absolutely hilarious. And it was nice to see Squidward make a cameo here, and the flow is one of the best in the series. So, I said before that the SpongeBob jokes were overused, but in the performance it was necessary. But I don't think it needed to be used after the performance. And I did like the touch of when he tied all of his opponents to chairs, calling them by their nicknames. Deadshot as Power Ranger, SpongeBob as SpongeBoob, and Black Panther as Pussycat. It was really cool to see. The roasts were amazing, some of the best of the series in fact. And this beatbox has to be the catchiest beatbox in the entire series. I'm not even joking. Now, the reason why this edges out his third solo is because it's slightly catchier and it stands out a little bit more. Number 1, Patrick 4. Keep in mind, Deadpool and Patrick tied in my opinion, so their beatboxes are equal in my book. Yeah, this is Patrick's best beatbox. When the episode came out, I thought, yeah, their beatboxes are great, but their third rounds are better. Well, I don't think that anymore. Deadpool's fourth solo very slightly edges out his third one, and this one is definitely better than his third. Not that it's bad, but it's still great. But this is just better. The roasts were, and I can't believe I'm saying this, really good. My favorite being when he calls Deadpool's mom ugly and saying that Deadpool's not a hard opponent, which is very Patrick-like, but it also managed to keep that intensity that Patrick has to beating Deadpool to avenge SpongeBob. And I hope people didn't vote him because of that, because A, it's biased, and B, it's going to get the votes taken away. But anyways, the remix to Tricky and how he says Pinky instead of Tricky. That was pretty cool. And the beatboxing part while ripping Deadpool merch was absolutely amazing, all while being hilarious at the same time. And the ending was kind of gross, but funny at the same time. And I loved the reference from the movie with Patrick in the high heels. Overall, this beatbox is going down in my top 2, with Deadpool tying it. Yeah, this is the last Cartoon Beatbox Battle censored video I'll be making for a while. Anyways, guys, I'm Reviewer Chris, and I'm out for now.